Well, that was one of the biggest challenges that we saw on the ground today, Xoli. Today was the deadline, so many people came out in numbers because they were worried that if they don't do that, then they might face closure from tomorrow going onwards. But I must tell you that throughout the whole registration process, I don't remember hearing any of the shop owners saying, I went there, I was assisted, and my Spaza shop has been registered, you know, I met all the requirements. It's always a case of this is needed, I've been turned back, I don't have this document. These people are asking for too much. You would understand that leading up to this deadline, most of these shop owners, even foreign nationals, were asking for a deadline, saying that the required documents by government need them to have time. You know, there's title deeds that are needed there. There's zoning certificates that are needed. So the entire process is time consuming when they, you know, speak about it. Another thing they said was that the officials that were assisting them were actually moving at a snail pace, meaning that there are people that arrived there in the morning and were not even assisted, because where I was, we were told that they ran out of forms, meaning that they had to close their gates before 5 o'clock.
What is the official line, particularly on the contentious issue of foreign-owned Spaza shops? What is government's official line about whether or not they can register their businesses?
Well, we saw them queue as well to register their businesses, but one cannot be certain, or rather one wouldn't really know if they have the proper documentation, you know, that the papers that are needed, because at some point, I remember when we were speaking to some foreign national shop owners in Mamelodi, they were complaining that they don't have most of the documents that are needed there. Even their landlords, because some of the documents you need to get them from your landlord, and landlords were saying they're not even aware of what is required here. So most of these people were saying, you know, the entire process could have been facilitated better. But they showed, they were keen on registering, because we saw them today. We've been seeing them in the past couple of days. You must also understand that there was a challenge at some point where there were some political parties and some organizations that were, you know, blocking them from registering their businesses in places like Pretoria, where they were actually told that we only want South Africans to lead the black economy. And when you go to places like Orlando East, where they even attempted raiding their shops, forcing them to shut down, saying that the township economy belongs to Sowetans, therefore they have no space for foreign nationals. But when we saw them today, everything seemed peaceful. But we don't know for how long, and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow moving forward, because I can assure you, Xoli, that most people, or rather a number of shop owners, have not been able to register their business till this point.
Well, I'm going to ask you to just remain there, Zola, while you talk about the situation in Gauteng. Let's take you to KZN now. Silethiwe Ndlovu in Hammersdale in KwaZulu-Natal. Silethiwe, good afternoon to you. You have been talking to Spaza shop owners who sounded as though they were frustrated by the registration process. How has this period impacted on their business?
It's affected their businesses, Xoli, in a very, their businesses seem to be declining, if I could say that. I just want to go back to something that my colleague Zola mentioned. Here in KZN, it seems as if we are having similar issues that are being faced in Gauteng, where you find that a lot of Spaza shop owners are trying to register their businesses. However, they are faced with a number of challenges when they go to to those different municipalities. You will remember that a couple of weeks ago, we have been talking to a number of them, a lot of them saying that they are trying to adhere to that directive that was made by the president. However, they are faced with a number of issues, including the fact that when they go to those different municipalities, it seems as if they either don't have the right documents or those different municipalities are not responding to some of their issues fast enough. Right now, I am joined by someone that has actually gone to the municipality, one of the municipalities here in Hammersdale. She's gone to that municipality 4 times to try and register her business. However, she has been faced with a number of issues. Masiyabonga kakhulu manathi. Ngicela nje siqale ngalolu daba olukhulu obhekane nalo mayelana nokuzama ukurejista isitolo sakho.
Ngibingelele unhlelo okhulumayo eHammersdale. Shothi inkinga engihlangabezane nayo uthe upresident ume ekhipha ngomhla ka-15 November ukuthi abama-spaza shop abaregister. Salisumela phezulu udaba, sahamba kasizakala, safike sathola ama-forms ePinetown. So mangithwala ama-forms ngenkathi ngisaqoqa i-information le ngiyiqoqe mase ngibuyela khona sebethi kumina through indaba ye-sketch sami rough sketch le ngidwebile angiqualify kuma-permits because mina bengi-aplayela i-permits yokudayisa ukuthi bengiyi-clueless ngoba mina bekukhulunywa indaba yama-permits ngiyakasizakala oba ngifuna indaba ye-permits but angiqualify ngiqualify kuma-license. Sengiqala phansi-ke futhi it's another story ngigibela ngemali ngishona le ngiyakasizakala ePinetown. Sengiqala phansi-ke futhi manje sengiyofuna ama-forms e-license lapho isikhathi siyahamba esibekiwe ukuthi fanele i-deadline iyafika umuntu userejistile. Mangifika la kwi-license nakhona kunento zakhona eziningi ezifunakalayo and okunye si-clueless ngakho. So last week bafika kabasizakala la ehall lethu kwaMagaba kwayima besinikeza i-clearance ekahle besichazela kahle yonke into of which nayo inezinto eziningi ezidingakalayo fanele uye ka-housing uyofuna amatayitela, iy'ncwadi zamasipala zama-rates, iy'ncwadi zamanzi kuningi uyofuna nama-photo area la abafunayo. So besazama ukuhlanganisa yonke leyo nto. Namhlanje nje ngiphuma khona na i-photo area ngiyitholile mase ngehlele enzansi ngithi ngiyakasizakala hayi ngangalithola futhi usizo ngabuya ngingasizakele kwanamhlanje. So nje besicela Nkosi yami angazi ngingathini siyafisa ukurejista nathi ngoba iparish ley'ngane zethu leli siyafisa ukurejista kodwa ukusizakala besingakakutholi.
Mhlambe nje masesigcina lo 21 days ububona wena wanele yini ukuthi bonke abantu abanezitolo beregister?
Cha awanele Nkosi yami mncane ziningi izidingo ezifunakalayo la ziningi into ofanele uyiqoqa uyihambise mncane nje 21 days besicela bekuyisicelo nje somphakathi ukuthi sicela basilulela isikhathi kuningi okudingakalayo la kulama forms ofanele ukuqoqa.
Siyabonga kakhulu ukukhuluma nathi. Xoli, as you heard, that is a Spaza shop owner that we have here in Hammersdale. And she actually mentioned something that a lot of Spaza shop owners in KZN have been mentioning, and that is the issue of uncertainty in terms of who applies for a business permit and who applies for a business license. She also mentions that she has been to different municipalities 4 times now, including today, and she hasn't received any help, which is problematic due to the fact that today is obviously, that last day to register. But I just want us to listen to what another Spaza shop owner that we had a conversation with in the morning had to say regarding this situation.
Eqinisweni ngiyazama ukurejista sekuphela iminyaka emibili manje akwenzeki lutho ngiyawafaka amaphepha ngikhonjwe la kungenzeki lutho namanje akwenzeki lutho into eyenzakala mangithi ngiyawusebenza umsebenzi kufika amaphoyisa angibophe nawo ngiyenzile lento emaphoyiseni amaphoyisa akenze lutho angenzeki lutho nje nomasipala uyafika kumina ekhaya ngiye kuona ema-ofisi eHillcrest bangikhombe enkosini ema-ofisi asemarisburg ngiye nakhona kumanje akwenzeki lutho hayi ukuthi angenzi lutho ngiyayenza into esemthethweni kodwa abafuna ungenzela lutho bangicindezela nje kwasabona.
Silethiwe Ndlovu, by all accounts it sounds as though it has been a stressful period for local spaza shop owners, and I would assume for foreign-owned Spaza shops as well. And I want to thank you very much in KZN, Silethiwe Ndlovu, and in the Gauteng leg of this particular story. Zola, Sholwana, thank you very much for the accounts on the ground. All right, so we're going to leave that conversation for a moment, and let's pick up on a different one totally now. Let's